Among all the big releases in 2004 were several smaller projects by many a developer, one of which was London Studio, an in-house developer for Sony. They had been around since 1993 developing random games. Mostly this is football, whose yearly releases infer what DLC would have been like 10 years before internet played a key role in games. The studio cranked out many mediocre games in 2004 alone, such as SingStar, The Getaway Black Monday, and iToy Groove. What is iToy Groove? Well, to understand iToy Groove, you need to understand the iToy itself. The iToy is basically the PlayStation's webcam. Like many PlayStation system add-ons, barely any games actually used it. It recorded at 240 pixels, which is a sworn enemy of YouTube commenters. Sony only ever released 14 games specifically for the camera. It's pretty much an even more useless Kinect. So what about iToy Groove? Why is it significant enough a title for me to give it the 10th anniversary treatment? Let's find out. This is my 10-year anniversary review of iToy Groove. There are 6 categories that I grade games on: gameplay, graphics, sound, soundtrack, menus, and replayability. In this review, I'll analyze all 6 of these aspects to see exactly how well made iToy Groove really is. iToy Groove is a dancing game, and you are the controller. Its use of the camera allows there to be actual gameplay instead of it just being an expensive workout DVD that only works in a PlayStation. The camera mirrors what it's capturing, so when you see an icon flying left, you'll use your left arm. And that's about it for gameplay. All you really do is just dance. There are a couple of different icons you have to hit in different ways to get them to count. The first one's just a face. Smack that face at the right time and you'll get a good score or a perfect score. You can tell which is which by the face's color when you hit it. Don't be content with just getting a good score, because this will cause your grade to go downhill fast. When you reach E level, an annoying siren will start to blare, and it won't go away until you get your grade back up or you fail altogether. When you fail, the song abruptly stops and you've got to start all over. Another face you need to smack has a tail. Here you've got to keep your hand on the spot the face hits until the tail ends. Problems with this face are endless. If you don't keep wiggling your hand, the camera will register it as an inanimate background object and disregard it. Also, it's really finicky even without the inanimate hand problem. I swear some of these faces are mocking me on purpose. On lower difficulty levels, there's a bar-looking face that just gives you more room to maneuver your hand into place. They're all worth the same points regardless. The last type of face you need to hit is an arrow. This is an easy one. Just follow it along the path to the end. Don't go ahead or fall behind, because if your arm is off, it'll stop counting points and your grade will go. There are 28 songs, each with varying speed, difficulty, and move sets. Every song is different, and most of them are really good to dance to. Not many of the songs are that bad either. Even the boy bands and the 90s pop music isn't that bad to dance to. Moving to each song will give you a preview of the song. It'll play the entire song until you've made a selection, so at least it's better than iTunes previews. I'll talk more about music in the soundtrack section. After each song, you can review your score. The high score resets your name each time, so more often than not, A will have the highest score. Here you can also check out pictures and videos you took from the song. Wait a minute. Pictures? Videos? That's right. During every pre-made dance, there are segments where you can take 2 pictures and a video. If you hit the picture icons, you'll get bonus points, but you don't need to. Video will score you a huge point bonus if you use it wisely, but most people will probably take a break here. This game's tiring, man. Sometimes, actually most of the time, your pictures won't show up at the end of the song. It's always the best poses that get lost in time for me. But there isn't a censor filter or anything I've noticed when pictures get forgotten. It seems completely random. We'll probably never know. When you do the freestyle video, it just adds a stupid filter to your screen. The video will always show up at the end, but you can't save it, so it's pointless. Saving pictures will save them to the game's main file, and pictures will start racking up your file size quick, so pay attention to that. If you play the game in the middle of the day and the sun's coming through your window, it will make playing this game impossible. The camera will try to adjust to the bright lights of the outside, making everything on the screen black. And black is very bad for iToy. If it picks up too much darkness, it will automatically stop whatever the iToy is doing and kick you out to the menus. Your best bet is just to play at night. It will make everyone's lives much easier. Also, if the camera picks up a shadow in some place on the screen and you try to hit a face, it probably won't pick it up, which is annoying. The game is pretty much just dancing, but the developers put in a whole lot of extra modes to compensate. There are versus and group modes where you take to the game in a bunch of minigames. The minigames aren't anything special, but they're there. These modes for me are just an excuse to make the most ridiculous faces possible. There's another awesome mode where you can make your own dances. This mode is probably one of the reasons why I've loved this game for so long. The game doesn't care what you do to it. You can stand right in front of the camera and get hits all over the place. This mode won't fail you while you're testing. Using it in an actual dance, however, will make you fail, and fail hard if you're a jerk like that. You don't have any chance for photos or videos here, but who'd want to see their beet red face nearly passed out from exhaustion during one of these dances anyway? That's pretty much it for modes, but there's one last thing I want to mention before moving on. In the options menu of all places, there's a video message section. Here you can film yourself for a maximum time of 60 seconds. Here there's no faces, no ranking, no alarm. Just you and the camera and whatever else you can come up with. If this game could link to YouTube, I'd have had a channel with literally tens of thousands of videos of me doing stuff on video messages. I've saved a video on each of my 10 memory cards over the past 10 years playing this game. It's a trip through time, let me tell you. If you could tell time in 5 seconds. Even the shortest of videos on this game will take over 100 kilobytes to save. And this was the time of 8 megabyte memory cards, and 60-second videos take 7. So most of history is very short. If anything, I'd have recommended this game on this mode alone in 2004, but now with every kindergartner walking around with their own smartphone and access to better filming technology than this and those phones, there's gotta be more. Well, that's iToy Groove. I've pretty much rattled off all the gameplay details you'll ever need for this game, so let me summarize by saying it's a fun workout game. It encourages you to get better and burn more calories. In fact, it has a calorie burning meter for each stance sequence, even the ones you make yourself. There's one last thing I haven't mentioned about songs yet, is if you beat any song on its highest difficulty, you'll unlock that song's elite mode, which is hell on earth for the faster songs, but it can bring a whole new level of enjoyment if you've mastered the slower songs and want a new challenge. Just take this from me though. Good Charlotte, the anthem on master difficulty, is impossible. That is all. So all in all, it's good fun. The mechanics are a little schizophrenic, but you'll forget that once you get to the next phase. I give iToy Groove 9 out of 10 for gameplay. There aren't much game graphics beyond the loading screens in the opening video. The vast majority of the game is whatever the iToy sees, so if you like how you look, you'll like the graphics. Now that I think about it, there really is no way to grade graphics for this game, since there really is none beyond what the iToy sees. And the iToy sees real life, and real life has pretty mediocre graphics. You know what? I give iToy Groove ungradable for graphics. Sounds are basic in this game. There's nothing too crazy, and everything that the sounds go to are fitting. There are no exploding sounds when you make selections, so that is how I'm going to judge how good the sounds are. No one cares about game sounds though. They care about this game's soundtrack. Probably the second most important part about this game, so without further ado, I give iToy Groove 8 out of 10 for sound. Of the game's 28 songs, all are at least fitting to dance to. Some are interesting choices like Jessica Simpson and the Cheeky Girls. Yeah, the Cheeky Girls. Remember when they were a thing? While the songs are good, none are exactly going to jump out at you when you read off the track listing. All the songs are 100% squeaky clean, and would probably get content ID if I tried to put them in this video. But musical taste is subjective, so I can only give my opinion on the soundtrack, which is, I give iToy Groove 9 out of 10 for soundtrack. Up next is menus. You may wonder why I choose to rate menus for the overall game. I just think that being able to navigate exactly where you want to get in the game needs to be fluent and simple, otherwise you end up fiddling around with these things much longer than you want to be. The game encourages you to use your hands like in the songs to move about the menus, but that takes days. Just use the analog stick on the controller. Menus are pretty simple for this game, and you can move about them fast. A couple of them are in questionable places, but it's excusable. Just don't even try using your hands to navigate, it's not worth it in the least. But nowhere in the instruction book does it tell you you can use the analog stick, so it expects you to use your hands. And based on that alone, I give iToy Groove 7 out of 10 for menus. Well, I've happily been coming back to this game to work out my arms, make ridiculous videos, and all around have a fun time. If this game was released today, it would just be another cookie-cutter throwaway game like Just Dance. But it was released in 2004, right around when YouTube was taking off. There weren't any videos online for you to watch, and have no need to purchase the actual game for. But this was before then, and it needed to set a precedent for future dance games. Did it? Yes. Did anyone follow that precedent? No. So today there's no reason to play this game as much as I have in the past. But remember, the entire point of waiting for the 10th anniversary for these reviews is to place yourself in the year it was released and view it from the point of view of that time. Before YouTube, before the Wii, and that's why I give iToy Groove 10 out of 10 for replayability. And that's all my grading criteria out of the way. Time for the final score. Before that, let me mention a few things I haven't yet. In the options menu, there are a couple of settings that you can change that were supposed to make playing with the sun in the background easier. Really didn't work that well. Just wait until night. Now for the final score. Keep in mind this is my opinion and personal experience I've took from the game. Your game may be broken and wrong if you have any different experience. After grading this game over the 6 categories, I've come up with the final score of 8.5 out of 10. iToy Groove is probably the reason I'm here today. Making videos for hours and hours and video messages is what pushed me here. If this game was released today, it would just be a bare bones piece of advertisement for iToy. But London Studios really took the time to piece this together. It's amazing that a game like iToy Groove turned out to be more polished and engaging than a game like The Getaway. This game is great and more people should have known about it. But at a time like 2014 with Wii Fit dominating the workout market and YouTube at your hands to give you the dance sequences right on your computer screen, it's pretty pointless now. This game was a huge part of my life growing up, and I've had a lot of fun bringing it back up in my memories, and I hope you've enjoyed taking a look back in time too. Thank you all so much for watching my 10th anniversary review for iToy Groove. This has been